And again, I just want to go through very quickly the top 1%. This is the consequence of supply side economics, the consequence of Reaganomics. The whole Reaganomics shtick was, Reagan quoted John Kennedy saying, a rising tide lifts all boats. Well, it's a nice aphorism, but it assumes all boats are in the tide. Right? What if a bunch of the boats are on shore? They don't even have any water to be in. Well, you got 40 million Americans who are, living on the absolute margins. The top 1% of Americans own 40% of everything that is privately ownable in this country. All American wealth. America is the richest nation on earth, and 1% of us own almost half of that, 40%. Meanwhile, the bottom 80% of us, the bottom 4/5 of us, you think, okay, 4/5 of all Americans, they must own at least half of the wealth of America, right? No. 40%? No. Well, hey, it's 80% of us. We must own 30% of the wealth? No. Well, to be in the bottom 80%, that means that, at the top of bottom 80%, that's over $100,000 a year. That there's got to be, 25% they own a quarter of the wealth. No. 20%, no. 15%, no. 10%, no. 7%. The bottom 80% of all Americans own 7% of the wealth in this country. This is really simple stuff. The wealthiest 400 people in America now own more wealth than half of America, than 50% of America. 400 individuals as a result of 32 years of Reaganomics. The wages of workers have not only not gone up since Reagan came into office, they've actually gone down. Household income has remained flat, but now households typically have almost two workers in them, and in 1980 it was just a slightly over one. So individual wages have actually gone down. 120% of the gains since Bush came into office have gone to the top 1%, which means the bottom 99%, people making under $300,000 a year, all the way down to making $5,000 a year, they've actually gone backwards. And here's the shocker. Since the Bush crash of 2007, the median wealth for middle-class families has dropped 40%. Now, admittedly, most of this was in housing, but a fair amount of it was in the stock market and 401ks and IRAs and now with loss of income, people having to convert their savings and all this. A loss of 40% is the equivalent of 18 years of savings for the middle class has been wiped out by the bad behavior of the banksters, thanks to Republican Phil Gramm, and 32 years of Reaganomics. Meanwhile, corporations are just in Fat City. Corporate profits are at a higher point than they've been in 60 years, and the amount of taxes that are actually paid by corporations is lower than it's been in 40 years. Forget about the top tax rate. We got a top tax rate of 35%. Nobody pays that. 26 major corporations, 26 of the 100 most profitable corporations in America last year paid absolutely nothing in their taxes. Many of them got money back. And in some cases, it was banks who got money back because they got hit with fines for being criminals, and they were able to write off as a cost of doing business, paying those fines to the government. And you still got screwed. I mean, just consider how bizarre this is. This is Reaganomics.